What does it really take to succeed in life? Is it luck, talent, money, or connections? The truth, as Napoleon Hill discovered after studying hundreds of the world's most successful people, is that success is never an accident. It follows specific laws, timeless principles that anyone can learn and apply. For over 20 years, Hill interviewed great leaders, inventors, and business icons such as Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Andrew Carnegie. From their stories, he uncovered a system, a set of 16 laws, that reveal how ordinary people can rise to extraordinary heights. These principles are just as relevant today as they were when first published nearly a century ago. This book, The Law of Success, is more than a guide to wealth. It is a blueprint for building confidence, leadership, imagination, self-discipline, and character. It shows you how to focus your energy on a definite goal, how to work with others in harmony, how to turn failure into opportunity, and how to live by values that guarantee lasting achievement. Throughout this summary, you will learn why the power of a mastermind can achieve what no individual can do alone, how having a definite chief aim transforms dreams into reality, how self-confidence destroys fear and unlocks hidden potential, why the habit of saving prepares you for opportunity, how initiative and leadership turn ideas into action, why imagination is the workshop of the mind, and many more principles, from enthusiasm and self-control to the golden rule, each one a stepping stone toward success. The message of this book is simple. Success is not reserved for the few. It is available to anyone willing to learn and apply these laws. If you commit to them, step by step, you will discover not only how to achieve wealth and recognition, but also how to build a life of purpose, influence, and lasting fulfillment. So let us begin the journey into the law of success and uncover the timeless principles that can turn your greatest ambitions into reality. The mastermind. The first principle of success is what Napoleon Hill calls the mastermind. A mastermind is created when two or more people come together, sharing their ideas, energy, and creativity to pursue a common goal. Just as every individual has their own unique energy, the human mind also carries a frequency. Sometimes two people instantly connect. We call it love at first sight. Other times, two people simply cannot get along. This is because their mental energies are either aligned or in conflict. When two or more minds come together in harmony, something extraordinary happens. Their combined energy creates a far greater power than what either person could generate alone. Imagine 4 or 5 people working with the same vision, aligned in purpose, and pooling their resources. The collective strength of such a group can achieve success on a scale that is almost impossible for a single person. To understand the power of the mastermind, let's look at 3 legendary figures: Henry Ford, Thomas Edison, and Harvey Firestone. Henry Ford, one of the most powerful industrialists of his era, could raise $1 billion with just a few phone calls. Such was the level of trust and confidence people had in him. When Ford launched his automobile business, he received $225 million in advance payments for cars that had not even been delivered yet, a rare demonstration of the power of reputation and belief. Thomas Edison, known as the greatest inventor of his time, had an unshakable connection with nature. He didn't depend solely on religious texts written by men, but believed in the deeper truths revealed by the natural world. From this connection came some of the greatest inventions in history: the phonograph, which captured the human voice for the first time, and the harnessing of electricity from the skies so that humanity could light its homes and power its industries. His countless inventions were gifts to the world, and his legacy continues to shape our lives today. Harvey Firestone, founder of the Firestone Tire Company, also started with nothing: no wealth, no formal education, no powerful backers. What he did have was determination and vision. His work revolutionized the tire industry and placed him among the pioneers of modern business. What is less well known is that Ford, Edison, and Firestone were close friends. Every year they would spend time together on hunting trips, away from the noise of business, recharging their energy and sharing ideas. Whether they fully realized it or not, this bond was strengthening their creative powers. Their friendship was, in truth, a living example of the mastermind principle. Each of them began life with limited means, no great education, and little external support, yet through persistence, vision, and above all, the power of their connection, they rose to become legends. The fact that history remembers their names is proof of the extraordinary power that can be unleashed when minds unite in harmony. This is the essence of the mastermind. When people come together with shared purpose and energy, they create a force greater than themselves, a force that makes extraordinary success possible. A definite chief aim. Every successful life begins with a definite goal. Without a clear aim, energy is scattered, effort is wasted, and life drifts without direction. But once you decide on a single purpose, two powerful things happen. First, your mind begins to program itself around that goal. Psychologists have long shown that when we focus our thoughts on a single idea, our subconscious starts aligning our behavior to bring it into reality. You automatically begin to think, act, and make choices that move you closer to your target. Second, a definite aim gives you the foundation for a practical working plan. It channels your energy and resources into one direction, increasing your chances of achieving wealth, growth, and fulfillment. In other words, power is simply organized effort, and that effort is only possible when there is a clear purpose. The beauty of setting a chief aim is that it doesn't just focus your own energy, it attracts others who think like you. When people with the same vision and determination come together, their combined strength forms a mastermind alliance capable of producing extraordinary results. To illustrate the importance of unity and focus, consider a simple story. There was once an old man with 7 sons. His sons constantly quarreled, refusing to cooperate or agree on anything. One day, the father decided to teach them a lesson. He tied 7 thin sticks into a strong bundle and asked each son to break it. One by one, they tried, but none of them succeeded. Then, the father untied the bundle, handed a single stick to each son, and told them to try again. This time, every son easily snapped his stick in half. Smiling, the father explained the lesson. When the sticks were bound together, they were strong and unbreakable. Separated, they became weak and fragile. In the same way, if his sons stood united, no one could harm them. But if they remained divided, they would always remain vulnerable, and others would take advantage of their weakness. This is the essence of a definite chief aim. Success requires organized effort. You must choose a purpose, focus your energy on it, and surround yourself with people who will walk alongside you in pursuit of that goal. Without a clear aim, life remains scattered. But with it, your actions gain meaning, and your path to success becomes unstoppable. Self-confidence. Do you know what stands between you and your dreams? Fear. Fear is the greatest enemy of success. It is the root of hesitation, doubt, and failure. We fear poverty, criticism, old age, illness, and even death itself, though we all know it is inevitable. From childhood, these fears settle deep into our subconscious minds, shaping how we live and limiting what we attempt. The only way to break free from fear is through self-confidence. Confidence is not arrogance. It is faith in your own ability. By combining self-confidence with the power of autosuggestion, the practice of repeating positive affirmations until they influence your subconscious, you can reprogram your mind for success. When you believe in yourself and focus on a goal, you begin to attract the opportunities and people that make it possible. To see the power of self-confidence in action, consider the story of Charlie, who became known as one of the world's greatest salesmen. Charlie was once timid, shy, and easily overlooked. He believed that to live peacefully, one had to stay hidden in the background. But one day, he attended a lecture on self-confidence that changed his life. Inspired, Charlie resolved to transform himself. The very next day, he approached his boss at the newspaper company where he worked and asked to be transferred to the advertising department. His manager agreed, though most people expected him to fail. Charlie, however, was determined. He made a list of potential clients, not the easy ones that other salesmen targeted, but the toughest prospects, the ones everyone else avoided. Though still shy by nature, Charlie used autosuggestion to overcome his fear. He carried his list to the park each day, repeating the names aloud and affirming that by the end of the month, every single person on the list would buy from him. Within his first week, Charlie succeeded in selling advertisements to 3 of the toughest clients, deals no one else had ever managed to close. Word spread quickly, and his success was even featured in the paper. By the end of the month, he had convinced nearly every person on his list to buy. Only one man continued to refuse him. But Charlie didn't give up. For the entire next month, he made no new list. Instead, he focused only on that one resistant client. Every morning, he called, and every morning, he was rejected. Finally, at the end of the month, the man asked Charlie why he was wasting his time when it was clear he would never agree. Charlie replied with brilliance, "Each time you say no, you teach me a new reason a customer might refuse a salesman. By learning these reasons, I can create answers for them. Soon, I'll be able to overcome any objection and close any deal." The man was astonished. Impressed by Charlie's persistence and unshakable confidence, he finally purchased advertising space. That single deal turned out to be the most important of Charlie's career. It not only secured his reputation, but made him one of the most famous salesmen in the world. And yes, it made him a millionaire. The lesson is clear. When you dedicate yourself fully, when you refuse to quit, and when you believe in your own ability, success cannot ignore you. Self-confidence turns fear into power, and persistence turns rejection into victory. The habit of saving. Human beings are creatures of habit. Whatever we do repeatedly, over time, becomes a part of our nature. Some habits weaken us, while others create the foundation of lasting success. Among the most powerful habits, and one most often ignored, is the habit of saving money. Every successful person understands this truth. Financial independence begins with disciplined saving. Experts suggest that you should set aside at least 10% of your income each month, and if you can manage 20%, the rewards will be even greater. Why is saving so essential? Because savings are not just about security, they are the seed of future opportunities. With disciplined savings, you gain the ability to invest in new projects, to take risks when others cannot, and to welcome opportunities that appear unexpectedly. Let's understand this through the story of a young man named Sam. Sam was a poor farmer who left his fields in search of better opportunities. After some struggle, he found work in a printing plant. There, he noticed one of his co-workers setting aside $5 every week. Inspired, Sam decided to do the same. Over 3 years, he managed to save $900, a small fortune for him at the time. Then came an unexpected twist. The owners of the printing plant were on the verge of bankruptcy and preparing to close the business. Sam saw an opportunity. With his savings of $900, he offered to invest in the company. In return, he was given a 50% share of the profits. Imagine what would have happened if Sam had never developed the habit of saving. That once-in-a-lifetime opportunity would have slipped right through his hands. Instead, his foresight paid off. Alongside his regular salary, he began earning an additional $25,000 in yearly profit. What started as small weekly savings turned into life-changing wealth. The lesson is clear. You never know when life will open a door for you. Opportunity often comes when we least expect it, but only those who are prepared can walk through it. Saving, no matter how small, ensures that you are ready when your moment arrives. As the saying goes, drop by drop, the pot is filled. Small savings quietly grow into a large fortune. Of course, in today's world, saving 10% or 20% of your income is not easy. Unexpected expenses come up, temptations surround us, and many people spend recklessly on entertainment or luxury. But with determination and discipline, you can resist these distractions and stay focused on your larger goals. Sam's story proves the point. He began poor, struggling to survive. Yet by cultivating the simple habit of saving, he gave himself the power to seize opportunity when it appeared. His modest savings became the foundation of his wealth, turning his life into one of comfort and prosperity. The same is possible for you. Build the habit of saving today, however small, and watch how it transforms your future. Initiative and leadership. Confidence is the defining quality of every great leader. It is their most powerful weapon, the force that allows them to inspire others, spark enthusiasm, and move people toward a common goal. Without the courage to take initiative and act independently, true leadership is impossible. If your boss never has to tell you what needs to be done because you've already anticipated it, you're practicing initiative. The ability to step forward, accept responsibility, and take decisive action is the foundation of both leadership and success. Initiative means moving first rather than waiting for others to guide you. It is one of the most vital qualities for anyone who wants to build a thriving business or lead others effectively. Leadership is not something handed to you by luck. You cannot buy it, and no one can give it to you. It is earned by consistently making the right decisions at the right time and having the courage to follow through. A powerful example of initiative and leadership can be found in the story of Bill Gates and Paul Allen, the two young men who would go on to create Microsoft. Both shared a passion for computer programming. In fact, it was nearly the only subject they ever discussed. Then, in 1974, an article in Popular Electronics magazine caught their attention. It introduced the Altair 8800, the first personal computer available for ordinary people. Bill and Paul instantly realized the potential. If they could write a programming language for this machine, it could spark a revolution in technology. Without waiting for anyone's permission or guidance, they decided to take the initiative themselves. For 2 months, the pair worked tirelessly to create a version of the basic programming language for the Altair. They had no machine of their own to test it on, so they used a PDP-10 computer at Harvard University, simulating the Altair's functions. What kept them going was not money or external pressure, but pure confidence, vision, and passion. When their code was ready, Paul Allen reached out to Ed Roberts, the creator of the Altair and founder of MITS. He traveled to the company's headquarters to test it. When the program ran successfully on the Altair, it seemed like a miracle to those watching. Roberts was so impressed that he immediately partnered with Bill and Paul. That was the moment Microsoft was born. What set them apart was not just their intelligence or technical skill, but their willingness to act boldly, experiment freely, and improve constantly. They kept creating new versions, refining their work, and pushing their ideas forward. They never waited for someone else to show them the way. They led with initiative. This is the essence of leadership: to move first, to trust your vision, to take responsibility for action, and to inspire others by example. Leadership is not about titles or positions. It is about courage, initiative, and persistence in the face of uncertainty. Imagination. Imagination is the power that allows you to create anything in your mind before it exists in reality. Without a clear mental picture, you cannot have a clear goal. And without imagination, you cannot truly build self-confidence or become a great leader. Imagination works hand in hand with the principle of autosuggestion. When you focus your mind on a single vision and repeatedly picture it, your subconscious begins to direct your actions toward achieving it. Because your imagination is fully under your control, no one can prevent you from creating ideas and shaping them into reality. To see how powerful imagination can be, let's look at the story of Clarence Saunders. Clarence was an ordinary grocery clerk, earning only $20 a week. Nothing about his life seemed extraordinary. One day, while waiting in line at a cafeteria, his mind wandered into a series of what-if thoughts. He noticed the cafeteria's self-service system. Customers picked up what they wanted themselves instead of relying on waiters. And then came the spark. What if this same idea could be applied to grocery stores? The idea was simple, and self-service itself wasn't new. But Clarence used his imagination to see it in a completely new setting. He combined creativity with vision and set out to make it happen. The result was the birth of Piggly Wiggly, the first self-service grocery store chain. This one imaginative step transformed Clarence from a man making $20 a week into a successful millionaire. Think about what Clarence really did. He used everything we've discussed so far. He had a creative idea that gave him a clear goal. His goal was big. It could change the way people shopped. He stayed focused and believed in the power of his vision. He took initiative and became a leader in his industry. And he unknowingly tapped into the law of attraction, because when you truly desire something with your whole heart, the universe works with you to make it happen. Without imagination, none of this would have been possible. Every invention, every innovation, and every success story begins first as an idea in someone's mind. Remember this truth. Imagination is free, and it is always under your control. No one can stop you from dreaming, from creating something new, or from combining old ideas into fresh possibilities. So the real question is, if imagination is unlimited, what are you waiting for? Enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is the fuel that powers success. It is the inner fire that makes your words convincing, your actions inspiring, and your presence magnetic. Without enthusiasm, knowledge has little impact. With it, even ordinary ideas can spark extraordinary results. Think about it. We are naturally drawn to people who are passionate. A leader filled with enthusiasm can move an entire team forward, while someone who lacks energy, even with great knowledge, struggles to inspire anyone. Enthusiasm is contagious. It spreads from one person to another, lifting spirits and strengthening confidence. Napoleon Hill described enthusiasm as a state of mind that can be cultivated. You don't need to be born with it. It grows when you have a definite purpose, when you believe in what you are doing, and when you pour your energy wholeheartedly into your work. Take the example of great salesmen, leaders, and inventors. What sets them apart is not just intelligence, but their ability to ignite excitement in others. Thomas Edison once said he had never worked a single day in his life. To him, it was always play. That is the essence of enthusiasm, finding joy in your purpose so deeply that work becomes a passion. The power of enthusiasm lies in its ability to multiply effort. When you approach tasks with excitement, you work longer, harder, and with greater focus. Challenges become opportunities, and setbacks feel less discouraging. Others notice your energy and are far more willing to cooperate with you. Remember this truth. Knowledge plus enthusiasm equals power. Knowledge gives you direction, but enthusiasm gives you momentum. A brilliant idea without enthusiasm dies quietly, but even an average idea, fueled by passion, can change the world. So, if you want to attract success, practice enthusiasm, speak with energy, work with passion, believe in your goal so strongly that others can feel it in your words and actions. When your heart burns with enthusiasm, people and opportunities will naturally be drawn to you. Self-control. If enthusiasm is the fire that drives success, then self-control is the hand that keeps that fire from burning out of control. Without self-control, enthusiasm can turn into recklessness, confidence can become arrogance, and ambition can collapse into self-destruction. Self-control is the ability to master your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions. It means directing your energy toward your purpose, instead of wasting it on impulses, anger, or distractions. Many talented people have failed in life not because they lacked ability, but because they lacked discipline. History is filled with examples. Brilliant leaders and powerful figures have lost everything because they could not control their temper, their appetites, or their egos. Success that takes years to build can be destroyed in a single moment of weakness. That is why Napoleon Hill considered self-control a cornerstone of lasting achievement. But self-control does not mean suppressing your passions or denying yourself joy. It means balance. It is knowing when to act and when to wait, when to speak and when to stay silent, when to spend and when to save. It is about channeling your energy wisely so that every action serves your greater purpose. Think of a river. Uncontrolled, it floods and destroys everything in its path. But when guided by dams and channels, it generates power that lights entire cities. Your mind works the same way. With discipline, your energy becomes a force that builds success instead of destroying it. One practical way to build self-control is through delayed gratification, training yourself to resist small temptations today in order to achieve greater rewards tomorrow. Another is through emotional mastery, learning not to react immediately in anger, fear, or frustration, but to pause, reflect, and then respond with wisdom. Self-control also strengthens character. People naturally respect those who remain calm under pressure, who keep their word, and who act with integrity even when tempted. Such individuals earn trust, and trust is the foundation of leadership. Remember this: without self-control, success is temporary. With it, success becomes permanent. Discipline may seem difficult at first, but in the long run, it is the very thing that gives you freedom. Freedom from chaos, freedom from regret, and freedom to achieve your highest potential. The habit of doing more than paid for. One of the most reliable paths to success is simple. Always do more than you are paid for. At first, this may sound unfair. Why should you give extra effort without extra reward? But this principle is one of the most powerful secrets of wealth and recognition. When you consistently deliver more value than expected, two things happen. First, you build a reputation for excellence. People notice those who go beyond the minimum. Second, you create a law of compensation. Sooner or later, opportunities and rewards return to those who give more than they take. Think of the employee who does only what is required. He stays unnoticed, stuck in his position, and often the first to be replaced. Now think of the person who always arrives prepared, adds extra value, solves problems others avoid, and treats every task as an opportunity to prove themselves. Who will be promoted? Who will be trusted with greater responsibility? Success naturally follows the second person. Napoleon Hill taught that this habit is not just about work, it's about mindset. Doing more than paid for trains your subconscious to expect abundance. It shifts your thinking from scarcity to service, from what can I get to what can I give. And in the long run, those who give more are always the ones who receive more. There are countless examples. The world's greatest entrepreneurs built empires by giving customers more than they promised. The best leaders inspire loyalty because they serve their teams, not just themselves. The most successful professionals are those who treat every small job as preparation for greater ones. The truth is, no one ever became wealthy or influential by doing only the bare minimum. Extra effort is the price of extraordinary success. So the next time you're asked to do a task, don't just meet the standard, exceed it. Do a little more, give a little extra, and watch how life rewards you in ways you never imagined. Remember this principle: you cannot outgive life. Whatever value you put into the world will come back multiplied, sometimes from places you least expect. A pleasing personality. Success is not built on skill alone. You may be intelligent, hardworking, and ambitious, but if people find you unpleasant to deal with, your progress will always be limited. That's why Napoleon Hill emphasized the importance of developing a pleasing personality. A pleasing personality is not about looks or charm. It is about the way you make others feel. It's the habit of showing respect, kindness, and genuine interest in people. It's being approachable, positive, and cooperative so that others want to work with you, trust you, and remember you. Think about the people you enjoy being around. Chances are they are not the loudest or the most forceful, but the ones who make you feel valued. They smile, they listen, and they treat you with dignity. Such individuals open doors for themselves everywhere they go because people naturally prefer to help those who uplift them. On the other hand, arrogance, rudeness, or constant negativity can destroy opportunities instantly. Many brilliant people fail not because of lack of ability, but because their personality pushes others away. Remember, no one achieves success alone. Cooperation is essential, and cooperation depends on relationships. Building a pleasing personality requires small, consistent actions. Speak with warmth and respect. Listen more than you talk. Be humble about your successes and gracious in your failures. Avoid complaining or criticizing unnecessarily. Always keep your word. Hill also believed that enthusiasm and confidence are key ingredients of personality. When you genuinely believe in yourself and in what you're doing, it shows in your voice, your posture, and your energy. This attracts people like a magnet. A pleasing personality is not about pretending to be someone you're not. It's about cultivating the best version of yourself, one that naturally inspires trust and goodwill. Remember, people may forget what you said or did, but they never forget how you made them feel. And in the long run, success flows to those who are both capable and likable. Accurate thinking. In a world full of opinions, rumors, and distractions, one of the greatest keys to success is the ability to think accurately. Accurate thinking means separating facts from mere information, truth from assumptions, and reality from wishful thinking. Napoleon Hill believed that most people fail because they allow themselves to be misled by gossip, by fear, by emotions, or by the opinions of others. Accurate thinkers, on the other hand, discipline their minds to deal only with facts that are proven and relevant to their goals. Accurate thinking begins with asking the right questions. Is this statement based on verified evidence, or is it just someone's belief? Does this information help me reach my definite aim, or is it a distraction? Am I being influenced by emotion, or am I judging with reason? Think of a businessman deciding whether to invest. The inaccurate thinker jumps at opportunities based on excitement or fear of missing out. The accurate thinker studies the facts, weighs risks, analyzes the people involved, and only then makes a decision. The difference can mean either fortune or bankruptcy. But accurate thinking is not just for business. It applies to every area of life. When choosing friends, making plans, or even judging yourself, you must learn to see things as they are, not as you wish them to be. At the same time, accurate thinking requires open-mindedness. It is not about being negative or overly critical, but about being fair, rational, and disciplined. Accurate thinkers know that opinions can be valuable, but only when they come from qualified, experienced people. In short, accurate thinking protects you from manipulation, saves you from costly mistakes, and sharpens your judgment. It is the foundation of sound decisions, wise leadership, and steady progress. Remember this principle: knowledge is power only when it is organized and based on truth. To succeed, train your mind to filter facts from fiction, and let reason, not rumor, guide your path. Concentration. Concentration is the art of focusing all your energy, attention, and effort on a single purpose until it is achieved. Without concentration, even great talent and resources are wasted. With it, ordinary people accomplish extraordinary things. Napoleon Hill taught that success requires channeling your power into one definite aim, instead of scattering it across many directions. Too many people fail because they try to chase multiple goals at once, jumping from one idea to another without ever finishing what they started. Think of sunlight. Spread across the earth, it warms everything, but burns nothing. But when concentrated through a magnifying glass, it becomes powerful enough to ignite fire. Your mind works in the same way. Scattered thoughts bring little results, but concentrated thought can change your entire life. Concentration requires 3 key steps. A clear purpose. You must know exactly what you want. Without a definite chief aim, focus is impossible. Controlled attention. Direct your thoughts and actions daily toward that purpose. Eliminate distractions that do not serve it. Persistence. Hold your focus long enough for results to appear, even when obstacles tempt you to quit. History proves the power of concentration. Great inventors like Edison and successful leaders in every field dedicated themselves to a single vision, refusing to be diverted. Their concentration created momentum, and momentum created success. In practical life, concentration may mean finishing one project before starting another, setting aside time each day for your most important work, or saying no to distractions and opportunities that don't align with your ultimate goal. Remember, success is not about doing everything. It's about doing the right thing with full commitment until it is complete. As Hill said, the person who moves 1 inch toward a definite purpose each day will, in time, cover more ground than the one who dashes in many directions. Focus is the secret to progress. Cooperation. No one ever succeeds alone. Every great achievement in history, from building businesses to creating inventions to leading nations, was made possible through cooperation. Cooperation means working in harmony with others toward a shared purpose. It requires respect, understanding, and the willingness to give as well as to receive. Even the most brilliant idea cannot succeed if it does not win the cooperation of others. Napoleon Hill emphasized that cooperation works on 2 levels. External cooperation, the teamwork between you and other people. This includes your colleagues, employees, partners, and even your customers. Internal cooperation, the harmony between your conscious mind and your subconscious mind. When your thoughts, beliefs, and actions are aligned, you move forward without inner conflict. Think about successful leaders. They do not achieve greatness by controlling people through fear. Instead, they inspire cooperation by earning trust and showing respect. People willingly follow those who value them, and such unity creates unstoppable strength. A powerful example of cooperation is seen in nature. A single bee cannot produce honey alone, but when thousands of bees work together in perfect coordination, they create something extraordinary. Human success is no different. It thrives in unity. Cooperation also means setting aside ego. Too often, people fail because they compete when they should collaborate. They let jealousy, pride, or stubbornness break relationships that could have lifted them higher. True winners understand that helping others win creates victories for everyone. In your own life, building cooperation may mean being a better listener, respecting diverse opinions, or creating win-win outcomes in business and relationships. The habit of harmony multiplies your influence and draws support when you need it most. Remember, one person with a dream can begin, but it takes cooperation to finish. The more allies you gather through goodwill and respect, the faster and stronger your journey to success will be. Learning from failure. Every failure carries within it the seed of equal or greater success. This is one of Napoleon Hill's most powerful teachings. Failure is not the end, it is the beginning of growth. Most people fear failure. They see it as proof that they are not good enough, smart enough, or lucky enough. But the truth is, no one who has ever achieved greatness has done so without setbacks, mistakes, and defeats. Failure is not a signal to quit. It is feedback, a teacher, and often the very force that shapes future victories. History is full of examples. Thomas Edison conducted over 10,000 experiments before inventing the light bulb. When asked how he kept going, he replied, "I did not fail. I simply discovered 10,000 ways that will not work." His persistence turned countless failures into one of the most important inventions in human history. Failure teaches lessons that success never can. It exposes weaknesses, reveals blind spots, and forces us to grow stronger. It builds resilience, patience, and humility, all essential qualities of lasting success. The difference between winners and losers is not that winners never fail, but that they never quit. They analyze their defeats, learn from them, adjust their strategy, and try again with renewed determination. In your own life, failures may come as rejected opportunities, financial setbacks, broken relationships, or personal disappointments. Instead of seeing these as final, view them as stepping stones. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve? What new direction is this pushing me toward? Remember this principle. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure. Quitting is the only real failure. If you keep going, every setback eventually becomes part of your success story. So the next time you stumble, don't be discouraged. Rise, learn, and move forward stronger. Success is often waiting just one step beyond your greatest defeat. Tolerance. Success requires not only intelligence and effort, but also the ability to understand and respect others. This is the principle of tolerance. Tolerance is the willingness to see beyond differences in race, religion, culture, or opinion, and to recognize the value in every human being. Intolerance, on the other hand, breeds hatred, fear, and conflict, forces that destroy cooperation and block progress. Napoleon Hill believed intolerance is one of the greatest enemies of personal growth. Why? Because when your mind is closed, you stop learning. Prejudice blinds you to truth, rejects new ideas, and limits your opportunities. A tolerant person, however, remains open, curious, and adaptable. Think about the greatest leaders in history. They brought people together, not by dividing them, but by uniting them around a vision. They earned respect by respecting others, even those who disagreed with them. Tolerance gave them the ability to win allies where others created enemies. Tolerance also matters in business and personal relationships. A leader who cannot accept different viewpoints drives people away. An entrepreneur who ignores customer needs fails to adapt. But those who embrace diversity of thought, culture, and perspective create stronger teams and greater innovation. This doesn't mean agreeing with everything or everyone. Tolerance is not weakness. It is strength, the ability to stay calm, fair, and open-minded even when emotions run high. It is the wisdom to judge people by their character and ideas, not by labels or prejudice. Remember, no one has ever risen by pushing others down. Success belongs to those who lift others up, who respect differences, and who build bridges instead of walls. In your own life, practice tolerance by listening before judging, seeking to understand before criticizing, and remembering that every person you meet knows something you do not. With tolerance, your world becomes larger, your relationships deeper, and your opportunities greater. The Golden Rule. The final law of success is as simple as it is powerful. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. This timeless principle, known as the Golden Rule, is the foundation of trust, goodwill, and lasting achievement. Napoleon Hill believed that success built at the expense of others is never secure. You may cheat, exploit, or deceive your way to temporary gain, but sooner or later, it collapses. True success, the kind that endures, comes only when you treat others with fairness, honesty, and respect. The Golden Rule works because life has a way of reflecting back what we give. If you give kindness, you attract kindness. If you give trust, You earn trust. If you sow dishonesty, it will eventually return to you in the form of lost opportunities, broken relationships, or ruined reputation. In business, the golden rule means delivering value to your customers, treating employees with dignity, and dealing fairly with partners. In personal life, it means keeping your word, showing empathy, and respecting the rights of others. Every time you apply it, you strengthen the invisible network of goodwill that supports all long-term success. Think about the people you admire most. Chances are they not only achieved wealth or influence, but also earned respect. Their success is remembered not just for what they gained, but for how they treated others along the way. The Golden Rule also has a spiritual dimension. Hill believed that when your thoughts and actions are guided by this principle, you align yourself with the deeper laws of the universe. You create harmony between yourself and the world around you, and that harmony multiplies your power to achieve. Remember, you cannot cheat life. Whatever you give, you receive. The surest way to build a legacy of wealth, influence, and peace of mind is to live by the Golden Rule. Conclusion. The 16 laws of success, as revealed by Napoleon Hill, are more than theories. They are timeless principles proven by the lives of the world's greatest achievers. Together, they form a complete roadmap, from building self-confidence and imagination to leading with initiative, saving wisely, working with others, and living by the Golden Rule. The message is clear. Success is not a matter of luck or chance. It is the result of discipline, focus, and the consistent application of these laws. Each principle builds upon the other, and when practiced together, they create a force that can transform your life. Perhaps the most important lesson of all is this: every person has the potential for greatness. Regardless of where you start, the resources you have, or the challenges you face, if you adopt these laws, you can shape your own destiny. The journey may not always be easy, but every setback can become a stepping stone, and every small habit can become the foundation of a great success story. The question is not whether you can succeed, but whether you will commit yourself to applying these principles every day. Thank you for listening to this audiobook summary of Napoleon Hill's The Law of Success. I hope these timeless lessons have given you both the inspiration and the tools to begin your own journey toward success. Remember, success does not come overnight, but through steady progress, clear goals, and the daily practice of these principles. If you found value in this summary, don't forget to subscribe to Audiobook 101 for more powerful book summaries that can change your mindset and your life. And now, I'll leave you with one final thought from Napoleon Hill himself. Whatever the mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. So go forward with confidence, apply these laws, and create the success you were meant to have.